Broadcasting Network. Support MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, and shop with us over at Montalvo Store. Go to ebay.com and search in the advanced search. Type in Montalvo Store. Now support Montalvo Broadcasting Network. We have a wide array of books on conspiracy, apparel, and much more. Support your favorite radio station, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, by visiting Montalvo Store on ebay.com.
Hi, this is Jaja. Come shop with us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Sign up for Poshmark using our code ANTICULTURE. That way you can have $5 in your pocket when you join up, and you can buy something from our store. We have mad stuff like upcycle things, Armani, Hurley, O'Neill. We upcycling all kinds of things like LL Bean, and plus we got our tie-dyes and just mad stuff. Just come check us out. Also, you can sell your own stuff too using the Poshmark app, but sign in first using our code ANTICULTURE, and you can find us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture, or when you're up in there, just at Anticulture us, and you can look under the people. Check you out. Peace.
Bruce Montalvo.
Continues to spread conspiracy theories.
Penchant for promoting bogus conspiracies as though they were fact.
Bruce Montalvo.
About his conspiracy theory.
This is CNN, a network of China broadcasting system.
Bruce Montalvo is the only radio talk show host that's not controlled.
For sure, for sure.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you were tuning in, thank you for tuning in to the Bruce Montalvo Show. Actually, the mic was off. Believe that? I had the mic off. We're live now.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? We just
they were waiting. You know, that's how you keep the audience in suspense.
Do we have music playing at least?
No, we didn't have anything playing for
Nothing.
at least a minute.
Just did that. Oh my
Anyway,
God.
ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the fantastic stylings of the Bruce Montalvo Show. And if you didn't hear me, I said I was the running horse that drinks from water fountain. Because that's what I'm known as.
And I'm known as
by
Little
Indian
Spirit.
tribes.
And I'm known as Little. I was really known to be called Little Spirit. So, I mean, that was in Hawaii. I was sort of. They said your name is Little Spirit. It was mad weird. I was like, all right, it stuck out. So we both got this little Indian thing,
That's right, folks. And you're tuning in. Be sure to listen in via iTunes, your iPad, your iPhone. Go to Google and look up the Bruce Montalvo Show. Go to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Follow us at Exposed News. And wow, what a crazy GOP, right? What a just shill-a-thon, a demo-con debate. I mean, they literally jumped the Trump. I mean, what do you make of those freaking Operation 40 Cubans just jumping Trump like Goodfellas, out of Goodfellas, like De Niro with the boot.
I don't understand what was
stomping Frank Vincent.
Ted Cruz.
That's what they did to him.
Ted Cruz was so obnoxious. I mean, this guy is just who? I mean, first of all, do I want my president being the biggest IRS snitch bitch in the country? I mean,
he was whining. He was whining about wanting to show his tax records.
I mean, you think of Barack Obama?
What a freaking snitch bitch.
Yeah, do you think Barack Obama would have gotten elected if he came out like that as the African-American man running to snitch on everybody? I mean...
You know what it looked like up there? It looked like two members of the Village People trying to jump Trump. That's what it was.
They probably wanted to jump
Rubio and Cruz were just waiting to get off that debate stage so they can go back home and go to their foam parties and their leather bondage parties. And, Trump's no saint either. So we're saying that they jumped the Trump, but, Trump's name is listed in Epstein's little black book.
Yes, it was.
Okay? And every time I see Trump on stage, I mean, literally, it reminds me of when I saw Pink from The Wall. And if you guys want to see that, go to my YouTube and check out my latest video where I compare Trump to Pink. I mean, word for word. I mean, Pink says wall. Pink says the wall. Donald is building a wall, a beautiful wall, as you've heard him so eloquently say.
Tear down the wall.
Okay, so and then you see everybody in the crowd is just low information, stupid, and Trump likes that. They're wearing shirts that say hate on them.
Well, that was the whole thing, and
just a bunch of Nazis. It doesn't matter who you vote for. If it's Hillary or if it's Trump, you're getting two freaking Nazis.
Yes, but when you...
That's what it is.
That whole idea of hate was the ideology of how Trump positioned himself. See what I'm saying? He ran from the beginning as a politician of hate. He came dissing everybody. I mean, we all knew what he said about Rosie O'Donnell. Then he starts dissing girls, calling them this, that. They got their period. They're cows. They're ugly. You know what I'm saying? So he came out as a motherfucking hater. And that, if Michael Savage could actually say curse words, he would probably, come like that. You know what I'm saying? Be a filthy pig. And Trump, even as Barack Obama said, this is not presidential. I mean, he came out
not presidential at all. I mean, just take a look at his wife. I mean, do you really want a prostitute as a first lady? Right?
Something happened with his daughter also. I saw some, half-naked pictures of one of them daughters he's got,
His wife, his daughter, they're all getting naked. They all get naked for Trump. Trump just pimps them out. They're his hoes. How many hoes does Donald Trump have? He's a pimp. He's a dirty pageant freaking hotel building pimp. That's what you have? America running for president? Are you fucking shitting me? It doesn't matter who they put in there. It's just Nazi here, Nazi there, Nazi freaking everywhere. That's what it is.
Yeah. Old McNazi.
And the two Operation 40 Cubans stomped the shit out of him. On TV.
Rubio was ridiculous.
Wait. One of them's Canadian. What am I saying? Cuban? One of them's a fucking Canadian.
He's like a Canadian
You're
Nazi.
a Canadian running for president.
With a name
the
like
Simpsons were so right in that last episode where they just socked Ted Cruz right in the face. They just punched him right in the face.
Do you want to hear the stupid thing, Bruce? What's his face? Rubio comes out dissing Donald Trump for a so-called spelling mistake on the word choker and said he said chocker. But the funny thing is that Trump never made that spelling mistake in the first place. He said choker, but I want to know why the emphasis on the word choker. I mean, maybe Rubio's got a fetish, like we'll see them little boys.
Of course, didn't you see him go out there? His suit was soaked with foam from all the gay foam parties that he goes to. We looked at it, Marco Rubio and gay foam parties. Yes, they sell gay foam, and Marco Rubio buys it, folks.
I'm just trying to wonder.
Hey, Trump, you're feeling bruised, you're feeling broken. Go and look up Marco Rubio gay foam parties and hit him with that. All right, hit him with this. All right, hit him with that.
Bruce was wearing Trump's Plaza shirt all week, it was mad warm.
Well, look, there are a couple of points that I agree with Trump. I mean, I know he is like Adolf Hitler, and he probably has like a micro penis. That's why he's so angry.
Well, I don't know about
one
that.
of Hitler's balls didn't drop, and Hitler has a micro penis. So the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, and the idolatry.
Well, maybe Trump should pull his pants down, and we should see the size of his penis. And I think we demand that as a country. Don't you think so, Bruce? I think that's maybe what Cruz wanted, right? He wants him to pull his pants down and see how big his dick is.
That's what it was. It was Rubio and it was Cruz, and they were having a tug of war at Trump trying to pull his freaking pants off because they're all a bunch of queers up there.
So they want to pump the Trump.
That's what it is. A bunch of freaking rhino, neocon, just queers that freaking live in San Francisco and eat coleslaw and slang you Monster Energy drinks with rats in them, and they go out and they have their greasy Chinese food and their boyfriend's named Shrimp Boy Chow.
Right.
Are you serious? I mean, that's what the Republican Party's become. Just a bunch of just fruity neocons. That's what it is.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of pinks. You know what I'm saying? I think that the joke is that people, had whatever called Obama gay. And these guys, everybody running looks like a real gay guy. And not that I have anything against gays, but I mean, they're like really walking fruits. And they might as well be wearing like, chiffon
all you gotta do is take one
like that little
look.
Feather that hat.
All you gotta do is take one look at Ted Cruz. I mean, doesn't that guy have a face that you could punch? I mean, look at that guy. You just want to punch that guy. Every time you hear him talk, I mean, the whiny, annoying voice he has. I mean,
yeah.
Please, someone they just whip out that Broadway hook and just yank that guy right out of the fucking TV. I mean, I'm tired of hearing that guy. I can't stand it.
What if he came out campaigning in fishnets and like a pink top hat?
Dear God.
Would that be like funny? He starts doing some rock
No, that wouldn't
shit.
be funny. That would look like something Scott Walker did, probably.
Maybe that's what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't Scott Walker do that?
Yeah, the governor of Michigan actually was found recently. There were these photographs that were passed around and traced to his face. You know what I'm saying? And he was wearing fishnet stockings, lying on the side, showing his butt cheeks. Now, what are they called in Spanish? Nalgas?
Nalgas.
Nalgas.
I think you're talking about oranges. She's talking about oranges now, folks. Slanging oranges
nalgas.
off the side of the freaking 91 freeway
Bruce is
here.
teaching me all the details, the
That's
dirty
like
words in
just
Spanish.
like Shawshank Redemption. I want to go to Cihuatanejo. right.
But yeah, so we got to see Scott Walker's little butt cheeks
Unfortunately.
lying like a total freaking fetishist German from the 1930s
on a freaking Nazi flag.
On a huge Nazi flag.
A fucking swastika.
And hiling. And
what else do you expect from all these GOPers? Look, it's all just right out of the WWE. I mean, with Cruz and with Rubio. I mean, I saw the WWE even do the same thing. I mean, they had that guy, Roman Reigns, against Roman representing the Roman Empire. I mean, there's so much just Knights Templar symbolism in the freaking wrestling. And they got these fruity, like, boule black guys running around. You've seen them dancing around.
God.
With, like, unicorn hats, and they're dancing, and they're promoting all these fruity things that you would expect Lil Wayne to sing about.
Let me tell you something, Bruce. I never told you.
I mean, what's happened? But that's what I'm saying. Look, the GOP's become WWE.
Well, right. Those fruity tooty boys that you see up there shaking their booty. So those guys came directly out of some weird subcultural
Out
underground.
there with like trumpets and shit.
Right, they came out of this subcultural underground movement of the gay,
What the hell happened to wrestling?
hip hop rap movement. Wait a second. Those guys, I've seen some guys like that. I don't know if those were the same dudes, but there were other dudes just like that. Black guys with these gigantic booties, right? That like to pull their pants down like below their butt cheeks and shake it and stick it into each other's faces while they're rapping. It's really kind of ridiculous. It looks like they look like clowns, ridiculous and almost mocking being gay.
And it turns out that that's probably what the late Justice Anton Scalia was probably into, and the NSA had intel because he was one of these members of the Secretive Hunters Society, I believe, of the Bohemian Grove.
Some kind of an Austrian
This was
order.
a Bohemian Grove, Germanic, Visigothic, Anglo-Saxon, New World Order Illuminati hit. Is this what I'm hearing? I mean, Justice Scalia spent his last hours with members of the Secretive Society of Elite Hunters.
Yeah, and it was called the International Order of St. Hubertus. It was an Austrian society which dated back to the 1600s. And he was somehow accused of it. I'm not going to mention any names, but it sounded like the big boys in the alternative movement were chit-chatting about the fact that he might have been a pedophile and like little kids, and then he might have just had a heart attack. I think he just wanted to they wanted to dramatize his hoax of death, because I don't understand. Everybody's questioning why.
I mean, where's the body? They already had an autopsy. Well, what? They cremated him already,
really
right?
fast.
No autopsy. That's what everybody's up in arms about.
And you said that Obama didn't even go to the funeral, and he just came real like 2 seconds.
Supposedly they just buried him and just tossed the Constitution. Here, take this with you too while you're at it. I mean, I don't know if it's as far as being a death fake, a death hoax. I don't want to sound like all those losers out there, those Dominican Inquisitors or whatever the hell's out there that just like jump on just the hoaxy news. But what I want to get at is this guy is proving that there's just complete and total control by the Illuminati and secret societies, and it's out there. If you're walking through the supermarket, it's right in your face. They have magazines. Time magazine is telling you that secret societies control the world. So what's not to say that they did kill this guy too? I mean, that's what it's become. It's become a mystery wrapped in a mystery wrapped in a riddle.
Right. The problem is, this is why I don't think that he was killed. Because it looked like so cornerly set up, and then everybody just seemed to be hushed. Like, shh, oh, he had a pillow over his face in this guy's house. And everybody in the house was like, shh. Nobody knows who was there, what they were doing there, how they got there. Any kind of information about his death, everything was like, shh.
I mean, they hushed the family. They got to the family somehow. And speaking of family, what about Family Guy with the predictive programming mentioning that Dick Cheney shot Scalia 10 years beforehand? I mean,
Dick Cheney was at the...
It's just very
And Dick
strange.
Cheney was there.
It's very eerie.
He was there, from what I understand. Somebody called into another show and said Cheney was there. So you have...
Well, we don't know. That's hearsay. I'm not going to believe what...
Well, they don't say
is
anybody.
on some bum's show, except for the research that I've done myself, folks.
Okay, but they didn't give any. But the fact is there's insiders and intel going all the time, that show. And
that's another thing. That's a clear indicator of who's a shill. If you hear some fat guy talking about, I got intel, you know, that's the type of guy that the only intel he gets is from the shaft of Charlie Sheen's dick, more than likely.
Oh, yeah, that was good with Glenn. Glenn Beck tore him up.
No, and you know who tore up Glenn Beck? Donald Trump the other day, who interrupted supposedly a Glenn Beck speech. I didn't really see him, but going back to the GOP, I mean, we touched on the Scalia death. Going back to the GOP, it's just clear that it was a slobber knocker. Trump got his ass whooped all over the place by these two Operation 40 Cubans. I mean, they were just tugging and pulling, bitch slapping them like little sissies. And it hurt so bad that Trump had to go and get endorsed by Krispy Kreme donuts. he had to like cover up the wounds with a big fat Band-Aid called Krispy Kreme. I don't know, did you see that?
Speaking of donuts, what did they say of New York? That the bagels, they were going to try to...
Oh, it's an attack against the Jewish people here in New York. They want to replace your hallowed bagel with donuts. They want to literally just kick the bagel out of New York, according to the Gothamist, and they want to replace it with sugary, fat, disgusting GMO donuts.
Well, maybe they will be able to remove all the Jews with the new Indian Point power nuclear radiation that's increased and is increasing and is being very subliminally whitewashed in the media. You have it's 7,500 times worse, bad, evil, drinking water now. It's just like, I don't know, it's impossible. You can't even drink your own water or take showers or...
without getting out and reeking like cat piss.
Yeah, because they're using kitty litter to absorb the nuclear waste. It's so freaking evil. It's so beyond my scope of my imagination. I mean, from what I understand, and I haven't kept up in the past day, but the last I heard was that they have confirmed that there were 10 rods that collapsed on the core, and that is permanently, like, that means it's just going to get worse. Supposedly that happened on paper 2 months ago. On paper. That means it's probably been going on for 6 months, Bruce. And that's why we're at the other end of the Hudson.
Right,
that's at the top of the Hudson.
If you want to look into this, folks, be sure to go to myinforms.com. They have an article titled Residents' Cat Urine Smell Permeating from Croton Community. And that's cat urine smell being investigated in Croton on Hudson. I mean, we're spot on.
It's not just in that community anymore. It's now...
It's all over the mainstream news.
Yeah,
they're just keeping it down because they don't want all the hubbubaloo about just total toxification, radiation, just getting out there. Yeah. Okay, because everybody's going to lose out. The landlords are going to lose out. Nobody's going to want to live here anymore.
They're building left and right. They're spending millions and billions of dollars on rent. I mean, they make so much money in New York. But I guarantee you that people are the real people that know are leaving.
You think the Clintons are going to leave? I mean, speaking of toxic, I mean, you see her the other week. She was like hanging out with that Britney Spears, trying to get that mind-controlled monarch Britney Spears. Toxic. Speaking of toxic, and speaking of the Clinton families here, the bloodlines.
Yeah, but from what I understand,
are they going to leave?
From what I understand, Britney Spears is the niece of Donald Trump.
Well, that's why she's monarch mind controlled. That's why all these people in Hollywood are monarch mind controlled. Just look it up, folks. Monarch. All the Nazis consider themselves to be monarchs. They think that because their Mithra died on some imaginary cross that they got power over you. Okay, they think they got dominion over you because of their little blonde-haired, blue-eyed British just deity.
Saxe-Coburg. But before that...
Yeah, you got them too, the Saxe-Coburgs. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a powerful bloodline that is ruling and controlling the world, and time has exposed this.
But it's supposed to be the Jews, though. I thought the Jews were
the Illuminati has gone from covert to overt. They're out in the open now.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, I mean, I can't go buy some freaking pasta sauce without seeing the Freemason symbol in my face, or the Knights Templar in my face,
somebody standing in front of us in the post office.
Or, speaking of the post office, I mean, could you feel the police state just converge on you all at once? We're walking towards the post office, and I swear, folks, a SWAT team of New York's finest just converged around the whole area. I mean, I was like, what the hell?
It was totally choreographed.
Are they going to NDAA me right now? I mean, whoa. And then today, there was like all sorts of Homeland Security vans everywhere, and all this as me and Ja are about to jaywalk across the street, and we're like, you know what? Don't jaywalk. I heard Tupac got his ass kicked for jaywalking. Let's just go around.
Yeah, there was like a million cop cars that just showed up just as we were deciding to jaywalk, which was like totally normal for me, you know, in New York kind of, and especially at that place, I know the timing. All of a sudden, there was like 40
out of nowhere
cop cars out of nowhere.
You think they're filming something out of Law and Order,
and there was a Law and Order that was filmed there around the block from us just 2 weeks ago. It was the one right by the halal place. It was right by the PC Richards. It was incredible. So that's exactly where we were. And there wasn't just police cars. There were police vans. There were police, like, armed...
Oh, yeah, they had the jump-out boys ready. They were locked and loaded, baby.
Yeah, so they crisscrossed us from both sides of the street. Before we even crossed, they made a lot of noise, you know, with even some detective cars, you know, without the police insignia and stuff on it, with just a light. All kinds of chaos going on. And then they just stopped right in front of us as we were deciding whether to jaywalk or not, you know, and I just thought it was like totally choreographed, like ballerina, police display, you know what I'm saying? It was like of like force, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
They completely were like taken by, you know, it looked like it was choreographed, you know, they were taking orders. Okay, everybody stop, you know.
Look, mad Hollywood.
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 We literally like walked around like really good citizens and stuff, you know, just.
Yeah, we got the hell out of there. Anyway, folks.
Those cops were cop blocking at jaywalking, my God.
They were cop blocking. Now, we walked into the post office today, and you saw a Monarch ring. Someone was wearing a Monarch ring. I touched on Monarch programming, Monarch mind control. All comes from the Nazis, folks, who
and there was a
got their start in Rustic Canyon over in Los Angeles. But you saw someone wearing that right in front of you. You felt like they were like flashing it in your face on purpose.
Kind of weird. And then the girl that like was stepping right in front of us, she had a Maltese cross on her back of her hoodie, and she stepped in front of blonde hair and blue eyes. She stepped right in front of us for a second, said something to someone else, and then walked away. You know, I don't know. It's weird. So I walk outside my house, somebody's screaming FBI, CIA.
Right. I think the lines over at the post office are getting tyrannical. And I read something a couple of years back that the post office has got their own SWAT team too. So if you get out of line, if you go postal in the post office, somebody will bust a cap in your ass, right? But speaking of Monarch programming, folks, what do you make of that video I made of Ronda Rousey under Monarch mind control? I mean, isn't that girl like just 2 eggs short of a freaking dozen? I mean, she's not working with a full case there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I just think that they're Laurel Canyon victims. Yeah, I think that they're just controlled, and they decide one day that they don't want to do that job, or they're not good at it, or they get hit too hard, or maybe they're too...
What I was getting at is it's a clear indication, right, of someone, I mean, right away, they're suicidal. They say, I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. A person just got kicked in the head one too many times.
I guess so.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, they're flashing Monarch butterflies in front of you. I think it's fitting. And it should go into the topic of discussion, folks. It's almost as funny. That kick to the face Rousey got was almost as funny as this meme of Kanye West hugging Kim Jong-dong. Seen that picture? You posted it, actually. Kim Jong-dong hugging this Kanye hugging Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
In a dress.
Yeah, that was really, really funny, you know. I was impressed at the photoshopping these days, you know.
On the cover of Vogue.
Yeah, it was clever, you know. I don't know who created that, you know what I'm saying? But they do a lot of clever photoshopping these days. I said to Bruce, why don't you go look up photographs of the Pope, because, you know, the Pope was a bouncer. So why don't you go check out, see what images you might find, what info you might find, and it's quite funny, because just to think that Pope Francis was a nightclub bouncer is just hysterical.
That's right, and you see him like a hypocrite over there in the navel of the earth, which is Israel. You see him over there with his hand up against the wall, praying, when really the Vatican's over there just buying up property left and right. I mean, if you go back to the original story, you know, of Judah Maccabee, he was fighting off the Knights Templar who were desecrating the original temple. And now you have here the Knights Templar once again with the Pope buying up all the land and just taking dominion, and just they're going to build bigger walls than anything Trump could suggest. So, I mean, I've got this article right here in front of me. Pope should tear down wall of silence that's protected perverted priests. What about that wall?
Yeah, everybody's tearing down walls. You know what I'm saying?
Why don't they tear down that wall? Because that's the wall that should be torn down. That's the wall that will expose, I mean, it all, folks. If you've got any heart at all, that's the key. That expose right there, folks, of the hypocrite freaking pedo pope and the rest of the Jesuits at the Vatican who are just out in the open with their blatant evil now. It's everywhere you go. Everywhere. Right in front of you. You can't deny it. You can look the other way, but it's in every magazine. It's on every bus stop. It's in your face. Is it not?
Oh, yeah, totally. I was more interested in, like, the radiation and the dangers that's happening right now. And
that's in your face, too. Actually, that's going to be flowing through your blood. It's in your pores as you're taking the shower. I mean, it's everywhere. And nobody's up in arms about that.
Yeah. It's really, really dangerous.
You got an article right here. Why don't you share it with us?
I don't know. It's just more information about the fact that this was just from 2000. See, I had an article that was pulled from the New York Times from the year 2000 that actually states that that cat litter is used. It was being used for testing, but it was tested, and it can sop up nuclear contaminants. So, this is not, the information's out there. And the first thing that they say is, here at the opposite end of New York State from the site of the Indian Point nuclear accident on February 15th lies one of the country's biggest radioactive stains left behind at the long mothballed recycling plant spent for spent nuclear fuel rods. And this was in 2000. So, I don't know what to say. It could have just happened naturally. Kim Jong tranny is, who knows, cheese eating. Maybe he's not even alive anymore. Maybe he's just whatever. I don't even know what the hell's going on with these people. But North Korea, they want to use them and they hit ourselves. They'll say it's North Korea that hit that, but they'll totally allow them to hit, Fukushima. They know what's going on. This is like the new Fukushima. See what I'm saying? See, back then, I believe that North Korea hit Japan. And then we were getting threats that we were going to get hit. And then on the West Coast, or then they said the East Coast. I don't know how they were going to hit the East Coast.
Okay, but what exactly are we looking at here in Indian Point, New York?
Slow kill.
We know that Kim Jong-un could be a threat, isn't a threat, whatever that is.
This is our threat.
You see that the same thing going on with Iran, how Iran was infiltrated by the CIA. You've had it described to you in predictive programming in movies that North Korea is controlled by the CIA. So whether Kim Jong-un is alive or dead, it really doesn't matter because it's the CIA running everything. So what I'm concerned about is what's going on in Indian Point. I mean, there's this leak, the nuclear leak that's leaked into the water underground.
They're affecting New York.
There you go.
Millions of Jews. Yeah, I think this is the biggest population of Jews all conglomerated in the world. I mean,
outside of Israel.
Just in the world. Forget Israel. That's small times,
Anyway, I mean, you're so concerned with this. You were on Clyde Lewis's show, and I mean, you were even considering leaving Brooklyn. You were considering maybe possibly even leaving New York because of the severity of this toxic waste leak.
Yeah, I would have never even noticed much, but if I'm actually smelling it and the water on Bruce's skin when he comes out of the shower, I feel like disgusted.
No, it's absolutely horrific. I mean, my biceps are getting bigger than Brock Lesnar's biceps from carrying the gallons of purified water just so we could drink, so we could just, I mean, we don't have a filter yet and we don't dare
It doesn't matter even if we have it. It doesn't matter if we have a filter. From what the pipes are all need to be redone. It's got to be filtered from another way.
Anyway, there's tritium.
How do you get
rid of that?
If there's a
tritium leak, how do you get rid of that?
Yeah.
How do you get rid of a tritium leak? I mean, you can have all sorts of problems. It'll be a slow death, a slow kill,
thyroid
cancer. Problems. I mean, you name it. I mean, what are some of the ways that we could counter these things is what we should be asking ourselves. Not saying, hey, let's just get a bunch of batteries and a bunch of canned foods and build a tent out in the middle of nowhere and be survivalists. No, that's not going to help anybody, okay? It's like that goddamn Zika virus and Ebola hoax. I mean, what do you tell people to take? What? Take apple cider vinegar, drink this, drink that, try to stay healthy? I mean, what do, right? I mean, it's all... Most of what they put out there is a freaking hoax.
Well, I mean, what you can do is start using kelp. Start taking kelp and increase the green powder vitamins in your body and your bloodstream. You want to get certain roots like burdock roots and yellow dock roots and cleavers to drain some of the toxins out of your body. You want to keep a fresh flow of water, and the problem is that the bottled water is stripped of...
That's bad, too.
Yeah.
That process.
Forget about the
plastic will kill you.
Forget about the plastic. That'll give you cancer. It also strips a certain level of minerals out of the water, so your body will become mineral deficient.
Right.
It's very tricky. You have to kind of balance it with certain foods.
But really, it's gotten serious, hasn't it? I mean, we're considering... maybe going to Florida, maybe broadcasting from sunny Florida. I mean, I'm looking at the Florida marijuana laws here because I'm a strong advocate of marijuana being decriminalized, folks. I mean, I ain't no Bernie Sanders. And speaking of Bernie Sanders, he's taken my freaking talking lines here on my show. He's trying to say, I'm going to abolish the CIA and then have everybody redistribute the chicken. Right? He's stealing from El Gran Montalvo, right, folks, just like everybody else. But it's gotten serious. We're looking into maybe broadcasting from sunny Florida. And I'm looking at the marijuana laws here, folks, because I don't think anybody should be in jail for marijuana. It should be completely decriminalized.
Well, I think that my song, More Chiba Chiba, can be then back reactivated, Can't stop, won't stop, puffing on the ism.
Well,
legalize it, or there's going to be some schism.
That's not how Florida feels about legalizing it or the schism.
Well, maybe it'll be relevant to get there because here in New York, it's okay to smoke. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to tolerate.
Well, that's what gets me. That's why I don't want to leave New York. I mean, it's beautiful here. I mean, I'm used to my halal sausages and my pitas and all that good stuff.
Oh.
And making the money live on air, folks. You hear that?
Ding dong.
And where did that come from?
Etsy. That came from Etsy. Why don't you go to our Etsy?
Now.
That's a really great lead. So we like to hear that, you know what I'm saying? It keeps us alive. You should go to Etsy.com. I got a 38% sale off. There's some coupons on that page also, like if you spend over $200, there's an extra 10%, and if you spend over $100, there's an extra 5%. So it was like, like 42% off. If you slick on my store, you'll be able to find. You maybe will be able to find some awesome stuff. Go to Etsy.com/shop/Antique Obsessions. It can link you to the other store, which is Etsy.com/shop/Conceptual Subculture, and they link on profile page.
That's right. And if
awesome jewelry,
you also want to help out on my end, go to eastbymall.com and type in the Bruce Montalvo Show special code, the Bruce NY. You can save 10% on all their high-end CCTV surveillance systems. Go to eastbymall.com and use coupon code Bruce NY. You save 10% there. And you'll also save 10% on the best organic tea at LaCharmTeausa.com. That's LaCharmTeausa.com. Use coupon code Bruce NY. You save 10% there too, folks.
Definitely, guys. So, yeah, you definitely should check us out. People love our jewelry. I'm making beautiful, Bruce and I making beautiful sterling cuffs, and
that's Bruce NY. I don't think it'll be Bruce FL. Unless I start my own freaking football team, right? A football league. Bruce FL. I bring the gangsters over in Oakland, the Oakland Raiders, to play in LA because they're too gangster. They can't play in LA, right?
But we already came up with a name for Bruce something this week. Bruce came up with the best drink ever, and I suggest it because it really it knocks the socks off of you if you like that Kahlua and cream. This is a twist on it, okay?
Right. If I don't have a job as a radio broadcaster, I'll be a bartender with this one, right?
Right. This is fabulous. We call it what? This one's called the Bruce Blaster or Bruce's Cream.
Or the Montalvo Blast.
Oh, Montalvo's Cream.
It's you take some ginger beer and you take Kahlua. You mix those two together and you get a great outcome, folks.
It kind of tastes like rum and coke. That's okay, but the one that I'm talking about is Bruce's Cream, and Bruce found this stuff is like hemp milk, right? You use hemp milk. It's GMO free. You know, it's pure, like eco-friendly. So you use hemp milk and Kahlua, and I call that Bruce's Cream. You know, that's like ice cream. You know what I'm saying?
You really like Bruce's Cream.
Yeah, you know.
She really likes Bruce's Cream.
Yeah,
a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah, a lot, folks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you think of Trump being endorsed by a bunch of KKK Nazis like that one scumbag pig fucker, David Duke?
Well, David Goebbels, Gelfin, what's his name?
Bob Geldof.
Yeah, Bob Geldof.
Otherwise known as Pink/Trump, because Trump copies everything from the wall.
David Goebbels.
I'm serious. Just watch The Wall, folks. Pink Floyd's The Wall. I mean, that's Trump. All right? He's pink. They didn't leave him back at the hotel. All right? He was right there at the rally. He's at every rally. Nazi rally. Donald Trump Nazi rally.
His audience was right there cheering him on. And what was interesting, in Bruce made
Make America hate again.
And what was interesting, Bruce's comparison was, you said, I'd shoot one of you and you'd still cheer. And then...
That's right. He said, if I had it my way, I'd have all of you shot.
And they all cheered. And
Trump said he'd shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and nobody would care.
Yeah, right. They all cheered for him.
One of them builds a wall. The other one talks about building a beautiful wall.
Right.
It's the same thing. Just back and forth. That's like
fabulous.
call and response.
So Bruce made a fabulous little comparison, juxtaposition video. And I looked at the guy. I was like, oh, that's a Goebbels spawn, you know, and actually figured out who...
Geldof looks just like Goebbels.
Yeah, well, he's a Goebbels. And his mother was one of the girls. I think it was Holdeen. No, it was an uglier name. There was three of them. All of them were... Another thing that I noticed was all the names were Helga, Holdeen, Helmet. Those are the names of all of Goebbels' kids.
And that's the thing.
Hell.
I'm talking about Trump here. I'm wondering who's going to be his running mate. And I don't see Chris Christie being his running mate because he'd make Donald Trump sign for bankruptcy again. He'd out-eat Trump. You know, he'd eat everything at the Trump Plaza. So he can't be Donald Trump's running mate. I'd see someone like Jimmy Savile probably running with Trump. Because, well, I have here BBC TV host Jimmy Savile sexually abused 72 victims, many of whom were children. I mean, what isn't Trump on Epstein's list? Last time I checked, isn't he in his little black book? I mean, the same thing with that pedo freaking Pope. Okay, and this guy Savile looks like Bob Geldof too, right?
I'm checking right
Doesn't
now.
he?
I'm checking right now.
Why do all these guys look alike? That's what I'm getting at. It's like some type of Germanic, Visigothic bloodline that just runs and rules supreme. They run roughshod over all of us, folks. It's insane. Just you look at those bastards. You look at their eyes, folks. I mean, they're just two evil bastards. Bob Geldof, but Jimmy Savile is even more evil than anybody.
They look like cousins or something. They definitely they look disgusting.
Literally, I mean that guy's the devil.
Yeah, they're pretty damn ugly, but and they're all British, and there was a few from what I heard also those old time alternative truth movement dudes. They were trying to squeeze out the fact that two of Goebbels' children. He says, I have new information about two of the Goebbels girls, Helga and Holdeen, that they were in South America, and then the other dude cuts them off. But I know they ended up back in England because I know who their children are. They're the biggest propagandists right now, and they basically represent England. I believe that maybe David Icke is the minister of propaganda, of foreign affairs, and he's here to propagate the image of being a...
Look, all those guys, they worked at Tavistock, and they want to tell you they're the alternative, they're the truth. No, they're part of the order. They're part of the Fourth Reich, folks. Okay? And they're no different than Trump supporters. Okay? They just talk more articulately. That's all. Okay? You have 20% of Trump fans think that freeing the slaves was a bad idea. Believe that? What do you think of that article right there? 20% of Trump fans think that freeing the slaves is a bad idea.
But you're talking about a poll, Bruce, and all polls have been designed by Tavistock itself.
But do you doubt the idiocy of these low info freaking Trump fans?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't doubt it one bit.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a real poll. Who was these people that they polled? You know, who counted them? It doesn't make sense what kind of questions they were asked to who and what kind of community. Everything is relative. And that's why Tavistock gets away with it. They could just make up their own poll, like a trolling poll. I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't really believe that. I don't believe the people were asked the question.
No, that's who makes the polls, is Tavistock.
Yeah, well, they sit around all day making fake numbers up and
Wow.
fake polls. And they stick it on your page, and some people answer it, and some people joke around and answer it really stupid. And they're going to base it on some little widget on somebody's page. I mean, it's just absolutely absurd.
Anyway, this guy Trump is pissing everybody off. He's pissing off China, who's warning the U.S. after Trump won Nevada. They're threatening the U.S. Yeah, you better not have that guy Trump in office. Even the Canadians are kind of being a little bit more lax on who they allow into the country, the citizenship, who they give Canadian citizenship to. Let's just hope that Ted Cruz isn't our first freaking Canadian president with a flip-flopping head like all those other Canadians from South Park. But, it's getting crazy. It's really getting crazy with this Trump. I mean, he's just a complete and total sideshow, a circus, a clown, and it's really diverting a lot of the attention away from the justice, who was whacked by the Bohemian Grove, and the Illuminati, who came out, and now they're all over your freaking magazines, right in front of you. You can't even buy a loaf of bread at the store without seeing a Time magazine cover that says secret societies, secret societies. It's like cut, wrap, print, on every newspaper now, and it's right in your face. And they're telling you they control the world.
That's right. That's right. I wanted to just say the name of the mother that I found that I believe in 99% is Bob Geldof's mother is Hildegard Traudel Goebel. So Traudel, however you say, Traudel. That's her name. That's his mother. He looks just like her. She's got a messed up nose. She gives the same stares as him. It's him. And then his whole skull is Joseph Goebbels' face, and the nose is just...
And you can't deny her findings, folks. I mean, she's got masterpieces inside the Whitney Museum and all over the world, so you can't disprove her.
The other thing that we noticed...
She's not a liar like Hillary Clinton. 1 in 5 Americans think that Hillary is a dishonest liar.
1 in 5? I think
1 in 5.
No,
that's what this poll says. That's probably another Tavistock
That's another
poll.
lie. I think that 4 out of 5 Americans think that Hillary Clinton is a liar. Even everybody that I've heard said that, but anybody that you talk to, even the kids on the street, they'll tell you the same thing. So I don't believe that. And
like I said earlier, it's all WWE, and Hillary Clinton literally is going to put concentration camps back in America if you elect her. I mean, she's just going to change the name. She's just going to call them fun camps. So there you go.
Yeah, fun. I think that New York is a prison camp. I think it's a cell. I think that they watch us. They can listen to us. They showed, I saw some piece of equipment that the FBI has, the CIA has. They could just go past your house and detect movement. They have ultra microphones on your computers, and they don't even need it on your computers. You could be walking down the street, and if you're targeted, they can figure out who you are by your biometrics. They can hear your conversation. I mean, years ago they had these little freaking sound improvement things for deaf people that could hear 1,000 yards away. I mean, technology being released to the public gets higher and higher, getting faster and faster rates. And of course, they can take a satellite or a drone and just follow anybody around, have you targeted, have your information, have scripts on you, if they want to watch you. And they probably do if they feel like you're a political dissident. And that's what's going on right now. We're in a freaking cell. They don't have to have prison concentration camps, Bruce. They can take your smartphones, your smart meters, send signals, try to, buzz you out, freak you out, gang stalk you, send messages to your computer, to your phone, make you, distract you, mess with your food. They know you're buying a certain brand. They can up the ante. They know that your blood type can't handle this certain type of food.
Absolutely.
They have it down to a science. They don't need, what they figured out in the concentration camps was how to be skinny, how to diet, how to make somebody in Hollywood be skinny and how not to eat and how to look emaciated without dying.
What we've dubbed as the Auschwitz diet. And speaking of Auschwitz, reminds me, the people have become so apathetic, so complacent. They don't care, folks. You have Jeb ! Whose father is Boy George Bush Sr., who calls himself Magog, who goes to the Bohemian Grove, and his mother, who's Barbara Crowley, okay? He drops out of the Prez race. Just a pathetic presidential race. He had everybody just like crickets in the audience, and he was begging them to clap. But what gets me is it's right in your face. Like I said, it's all over the magazines, and it's all over Twitter. Jeb ! Himself even tweeted a picture of his gun that's Nazi manufactured. Jeb Scherf. That's his name. Nazi bloodline, responsible for bringing the CIA into America. Seriously,
Operation Paperclip.
Seriously, folks, if you've never heard of Operation Paperclip, you need to go and read all about that. You need to punch that right into NASA's freaking Google and just do it. And find out who your oppressors are and who the totalitarian freaking establishment, this bipartisan big government establishment truly is.
Wow.
And it's who it's run by. And they all have great freaking leather jackets that are designed by Hugo Boss. Tyranny is in style, literally.
It is. It's so much in style, Bruce, that there's actually an art show happening that I think it's happening in Poland, and it's called the Nazi Child Snatchers. It just came out an hour ago.
Well, speaking of Jimmy Savile and Epstein and, Bill Clinton and Trump and all those band of fucktards that are in Epstein's book, this is fitting.
Yeah, and what they did is that they made an art show based on, I think, some photographs. They're Nazi war photographs that resurfaced based on how the Nazis kidnapped 300,000 children. This is how they position themselves. The exhibition reveals how Nazis kidnapped 300,000 children from territories. The children deemed racially suitable, stolen from families, and Germanized. This did happen. They took kids that were from the Ukraine and Poland, and they thought they would work well, and they would rape their women because they looked pretty enough.
Dear
and then,
God.
Right, and then they say the children were beaten, starved, and even murdered during the process. They were savagely torn from their family in order to turn them into perfect Aryans. And that's how it went down back then. So, nobody was there to stand up for anybody's rights, but that was the whole thing. They were really savagely raping women, just breeding Aryans, and that's who.
And that's what you need to Google up next is Lebensborn. Google up Lebensborn. This is key facts, folks. You're not going to get this anywhere else. And this is 24/7. All right, I eat, sleep, and freaking shit this stuff.
Yeah,
literally.
And then there's another mystery, where they're still trying to toss around the fact that Hitler's gold haul mystery, where is missing Nazi Germany stash worth billions. Most of that money went straight into Hollywood, and the actual physical gold was melted down, and they was given through companies. They made jewelry. They made. I believe that Goring was probably a good infiltrator of Goring, right? Goring.
And that, it's funny you mentioned Goring and the Goring family because they are the ones literally who founded the club that Scalia was with, the branch of the Bohemian Grove Club, the Hunters Society.
Wow.
That is the family.
Which was originally an Austrian society, and Hitler was Austrian. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even the Italians are up in arms about this hit. It was a blatant hit on Scalia, folks.
You know what was interesting? That
he was literally guarding the Constitution with everything he had.
So we think.
He was protecting the Second Amendment. He was standing against Obamacare. And now where is he? Where is he? 6 feet under, and Obama, the ruler, in my opinion, I mean, many others have other opinions. Ja thinks that he faked his death. I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's become a mystery wrapped in a freaking mystery.
Well,
it's a riddle.
If he really was into like an alternative sexual lifestyle, Bruce, I mean, in another thing tells me that he could be in another country where they always run to Bahrain, right? And maybe he got a little, maybe he always felt like he wanted to be a girl. Maybe at nighttime, Justice Scalia loved, during the day he wore his cape and he loved, getting dressed up. Maybe he had like wore women's underwear.
Maybe that's exactly what they want you to think. Maybe they want you to now demonize a man that was pro-Constitution. I mean, who knows? That's what they're trying to put out there. It could be so. I mean, the NSA's got dirt on all these politicians.
Yeah,
these judges.
They're all dispensable, and they all know the position. And you saw for yourself that they all had Nazi heritage. They all lined up anyway, so they all know that they're working for the order, and they all play a position. I don't care who is up there, whether it's Sonia Sotomayor, Scalia. I don't care what judge it is, Walker. You are all bloodlines of the Illuminati. You appointed there from the federal court to the Supreme Court. So, and we saw swastikas and owls.
And it's the same thing with the people that are running for president. It's the same thing. Okay, they got the Diebold machines already installed there, ready to commit voter fraud.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter if you do the right thing and you go out and you vote for somebody like Gary Johnson and the Libertarian Party. That they don't exist. But again, didn't that communist bastard Stalin say, and I've said this again and again, time and time again, that it doesn't matter who votes, it's who counts the votes? I mean, back in Russia, they only had one guy running. It'd be like Putin running against the guy in a coffin. They're like, vote for the guy in the coffin or vote for Putin. That's how they ran things in Russia, right? I mean, we're not very far from Russia. Look at Russia's colors.
Precisely.
Look at Russia's colors and look at our colors.
Precisely.
Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. It's the same thing. We've become mirror opposites of each other.
What I was thinking of on another level, Bruce, was that the same thing. They were using Scalia's death to scare Americans to show that they can override a due process in the Constitution at any given Reich. You understand? So they own the laws. They can manipulate the laws. They tell you, you think you're getting due process, but all you're doing is dancing with the devil. Sometimes they could be a little bit more empathetic. I haven't experienced in the lawsuits that I've dealt with. I haven't experienced any of that. I've dealt with bullies and brutes that have robbed me. And they basically they never fully agreed with me, but they never fully denied the fact that they took from me in anything. So it's just really a travesty and disgusting display of abuse of power. These Nazis have totally control. I don't know when we last had our use of the Constitution. They're on maritime law. They make the laws for big corporations, whoever has the biggest money.
Absolutely.
They're in the Wizard of Oz, means OZ, means the Wizard of the gold and the silver. So I suggest you get it yourselves into gold or silver, commodities are not real things. Very true. Real things.
They are the ones controlling the green face of Oz. So
our jewelry is a good investment. See what I'm saying? We use real, I don't play around. Instead of buying those coins, you should invest in real solid sterling silver jewelry.
Now you should invest with us, folks, over at the Bruce Montalvo, over at
Etsy.
Over at the Bruce Montalvo Show and our sponsor,
at Antique Obsessions, where you find the finest in sterling silver jewelry. Repurposed Tiffany even. I got diamonds up there now.
She's got it all. Rough, raw, genuine, equestrian, Art Nouveau, all those great words.
Exactly.
Right?
Brutalist, rustic, you find some of that. Tribal, a little of that over in conceptual subculture.
It gets very tribal around here, folks. Now, we're coming down to the end of the show. I wanted to touch up on this. I've been on radio myself a lot lately. We've been all over AM. I was on Aaron Klein's show. Called into Aaron Klein's show. Remember that?
Yeah, that was fabulous,
So I called in because I had a beef about the Facebook police not letting me say that Amir Khan, the freaking Aladdin, freaking Sabu, go eyeball eater, couldn't knock out a freaking wet paper bag. So I said Arab. So Facebook decided to ban me for a day. Meanwhile, there's millions of freaking anti-Semitic posts, literally just Jew hatred out there, and Facebook does nothing. So I called Klein, and I told him, hey, you know, this Palestinian agenda comes right out of freaking Nazi Germany, and I got a report right here in front of me. Hillary emails state Palestinians should emulate terrorism pioneer Arafat's Peace of the Brave. So they're saying they should emulate more terrorism instead of saying, "Hey, you know, stop destroying the aqueducts that were built for you and all the resources that the Jews have put aside for the Arabs, the millions of Arabs that live in Israel, right? I mean, they're telling them to rebel. They got their mascots like Mickey Mouse, the Arabic Mickey Mouse yelling, kill Jews, kill Jews. I mean, last time I checked, I see, you know, pictures of Jewish children compared to Arabic children, and the Jewish kids are playing in freaking leaves, you know, hanging out, you know, playing, throwing them up in the air, throwing themselves in it. And then the freaking Palestinian kids are like locked and loaded and camo. I mean, what's going on? I mean, you can speak to that better than anybody.
No, you spoke about it just fine, Bruce. Really, I mean, it's terrible. You know, what's going on. I don't really like to get involved with all their politics. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody's got a bone to pick with Jews, and they blame Jews on everything. So,
But it's right out of Nazi Germany. They're radicalizing these Palestinians just right out of the Reich, right out of freaking Mein Kampf. It's right out of there. That's what they're reading.
Yeah.
And the Jesuits write their script. Their supposed incorruptible Quran is very corruptible.
And
it's just filled with hatred, and it's no different than the freaking Catholics.
You know, I wanted to say something about...
The Arabs and the Catholics are the same.
So there's people that are running Israel. See, I wanted to figure out a way to position this, but the same people that are running Israel is running Facebook. See, Netanyahu is a Rosenberg, and Facebook, and the people that you were talking about hating on Jews is the same family. So Zuckerberg is related to David Duke.
Right.
And let me finish, please. Okay? So David Duke is related to the Queens, the monarch family. They brought them here into this country, okay, because...
Well, that could be speculative. What's not speculative is the fact that Hillary Clinton gave freaking M-pads to the Palestinians so they could launch them over and kill Jews, okay? All right, folks? So, we've run out of time. Thank you for listening. And you can find us here on TalkStream Live. We're way up in the rankings because I am the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I have for a long time. Might as well call me the fabulous Bruce Montalvo here for you folks every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'm saying sayonara, hasta la vista, thank you, good evening, and good night.
Support MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, and shop with us over at Montalvo Store. Go to ebay.com and search in the advanced search. Type in Montalvo Store. Now support Montalvo Broadcasting Network. We have a wide array of books on conspiracy, apparel, and much more. Support your favorite radio station, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, by visiting Montalvo Store on ebay.com.
Hi, this is Jaja. Come shop with us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Sign up for Poshmark using our code ANTICULTURE. That way you can have $5 in your pocket when you join up and you can buy something from our store. We have mad stuff like upcycle things, Armani, Hurley, O'Neill. We upcycling all kinds of things like LL Bean. And plus we got our tie-dyes and just mad stuff. Just come check us out. Also you can sell your own stuff too using the Poshmark app. But sign in first using our code ANTICULTURE. And you can find us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Or when you're up in there, just at Anticulture us. And you can look under the peoples. Check you out. Peace.